Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we think might actually happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe and you'll stay up to date with all the videos that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. I'll be live on Twitch just after this video has come out, so do join us over there and we'll be talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. Okay, let's get into this, right? So XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. Now, as you can see from this hourly chart, we have this 5-wave structure to the upside. So much time has passed that I think this is less and less likely to actually come to fruition. So I think this 5th wave and this target up here, somewhere between 52 and 54 cent, is less and less likely to play out. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start thinking about what's going on here as to whether or not this is the structure that we're looking for or whether or not we're breaking down still. Okay, so as I kind of zoom out on this hourly chart, you can kind of see the run that was going on to the upside here. And what we've kind of been looking for is a structure that looks like this. We're going for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, taking us up into this higher range up here. Okay, this is 59.87 to 66.98. However, we can acknowledge that so much time has passed, and after this run to the upside here, it's getting harder and harder to think that we're going to be pushing up into this range under this current 5-wave structure. So what we're going to do is going to break down a little bit of detail into what is going on down in this little structure that we've been mapping out to see if there's something else that's going on here that might help us understand what is likely to happen next. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to just tidy this up a little bit by removing some of these pieces of data. And we're going to just take a look at this structure, okay? So on the way down, we can see that we have a lot of overlap. Now, it could be that we're still inside a big wave 4, okay? And under that kind of premise that we'd be looking at this like so. Let me grab hold of this, move this over to here. Okay, and then obviously we'll be coming down towards this 38.09. Okay, let me just go ahead and drop in a little price label just down here. Okay, so that would be that kind of one. That's an incredibly bearish scenario, but not invalidating anything, but it would be pretty bad to kind of see XRP break down that way. I think if that does happen, I think we're pretty much safe to say that we are not really tracking a 5-wave move and we are likely to move on down. Okay, so that's kind of scenario number 1. It would look something like this, and it's something that would play out potentially. Okay, that's the kind of bearish scenario. Now, on that, we can obviously see that our stochastic RSI would support an interesting move like that, specifically on the daily, the weekly, the 8-hourly, and things like that. Okay, so there's a little bit of damage to kind of be concerned with. Okay, let's go ahead and just remove those and leave that price label, just so that's one of the options that's potentially out there. Okay, the other one is that maybe we just are in this really dragged out 4th wave. Maybe it's a triangle of sorts. Okay, so maybe this here just needs to be broken down a little bit more. We're going to jump into a 15-minute chart just to see if we can see any decent structures going on in here, right? So we can see this low point, we see this high point, we see this one, and this one maybe still has to come down a little bit. Okay, so if this is a triangle, what we would be looking for would be A, B, C, D, come down into E, then get that break to the upside. Okay, this would normally be inside this. There would be 2 touch points minimum on the top line and 2 touch points minimum on the bottom, and the E wave is allowed to break out of this. Okay, so if that's the case, then we could look for a break to the downside briefly before we get that run to the upside, and we could be at a triangle here that actually allows us to have that complete move. Okay, so although so much time has passed, triangles can play out like this, so that's always the bullish option here that we've got going on. This would then allow us to kind of see wherever this E wave goes. Now, this is an unpredictable wave. Okay, it can come down quite a bit. It cannot cross, of course, this high point here. So invalidation of this kind of structure would be set at 45.58. Okay, so if we are to think that this is what's going on and we want to be really confident in XRP for whatever reason, then essentially this is the kind of scenario. Okay, we cannot cross 45.58 on the way down, but from there we can then rally up. Okay, now if we take the existing low point from here and here, then of course this gives us our approximate targets for our breakout. Our breakout would be 5 waves as well, and it would be basically 52 to 54 cent. Okay, that would be completing this structure. This would be essentially a wave 1 kind of scenario. So that one obviously broke down as well. Let me just go up into our hourly chart from here. Okay, and we can kind of see that structure in there. Okay, so if we come in, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 like that. Okay, then we'd break down from here in 3 waves, come down nice and deep, and then rally up again into a 5-wave structure and so forth. And as we kind of head up towards this range, another 3 waves down for another wave 4, and another 5 waves up for the final 5 waves. Okay, that then gets us into this range here to complete our actual macro structure, and it's a 5-3-5-3-5 and so forth, right? So there's a lot of things to go on here. Nothing moves in straight lines in this crypto space. We're back on the hourly chart now, guys, and that would take quite some time to play out, okay? But if we were to think about this structure, it would allow us to think that our hourly chart could, correct down a bit. That's okay, that could be fine. The 4-hourly chart's actually looking good for a run to the upside. The 8-hour will need a correction, that can come later. The daily is actually in an okay spot. The weekly is well overbought. So the bigger move to the downside will come once I think we've hit that higher point up here. Well, actually up here at this high range of 59 to 66 cents. Okay, so for XRP, there's a lot to think about, but the main numbers to kind of really be thinking about is 36.22. That's your big invalidation zone. We are not allowed to cross this low point. We have our bearish one down here at 38. That would still technically keep us in structure, but I would be starting to get concerned that actually we're just not tracking that structure to the upside as we would have thought. But otherwise, for the most part, if we are going to be thinking about long positions on XRP, then we obviously know that a 5th wave isn't going to be the best entry point. So doing leverage trading on XRP probably isn't the wisest move right now, but there is going to be a good entry at a slightly later date, okay? And under everything that's going on here, once we complete this 5th wave up here towards that kind of 59 to 66 cent, there's going to be an absolutely massive crash to the downside. Now, this is just because of how structures work, okay? This is tracking people's behavior. So when you have 5 waves up, you have 3 waves down. So at the macro level here, where we have this kind of 5-wave move going up, and if we do complete that move towards 66 cent, then 3 waves down is just your profit being taken off the table from the traders. It does not mean that it was a pump and dump scam or anything like that. You're following the psychology of traders here. This is the obvious place to bring down. Okay, and here you'd probably move down towards that 38 cent range, and that is your entry. Okay, so you don't necessarily think about FOMOing in and all of this at the end of a structure or anything like that. You wait for good structure, you wait for 5 up, you wait for 3 down, and the 3rd one down, this is where you enter, because there's going to be another 5 waves that take you up afterwards, and that is really where the value is captured from a trading perspective. So do join us down in Discord if you want to know more about that. Join us on the Patreon services, links are in the description below, and learn a little bit more about kind of the different strategies that can be applied and how to enter and exit the market more efficiently. Guys, do join us on Twitch. We'll be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, what's going on with the background data, wider economic climates and things like that. So go ahead and join us over there. We'll be on Twitch in about 1 hour, so about 10 a.m. UK time. So do join us over there. Other than that, join us down in Discord. Links in the description below. Guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.